Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into something that's, absolutely essential in the pharma world and really any quality-focused industry, the Management Review Meeting, or MRM. And I want you to try and think of it less as just another meeting and more like a crucial health checkup for your entire quality system.
And right off the bat, you're probably thinking, oh, great, another meeting on the calendar. But listen, this is so much more than your typical status update. This is about the high-level strategic health of your quality operations, and we're going to see exactly why.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to break down what an MRM really is, talk about its main goals, and what you should be discussing. Then we'll get into the most important part, the outcomes. We'll also cover the common mistakes to steer clear of, and wrap it all up by looking at how a great MRM builds a rock-solid compliance culture.
All right, so let's start with the basics. What really makes an MRM, well, an MRM? What sets it apart?
You've really got to focus on two key phrases here: formal platform and senior management. This is not a casual coffee chat, okay? It's a structured, official meeting where the company's top leadership rolls up their sleeves and gets directly involved in reviewing how the quality system is actually performing.
And this, right here, really spells out the difference. A regular meeting? That's often informal, just routine updates, and pretty much anyone can be there. But an MRM? That's an official platform. It's a deep dive performance review, and it is specifically led by senior management. Honestly, they're two completely different beasts.
Okay, so we've got the what down, but now for the really big question. Why is it so darn important? Why is this one meeting basically non-negotiable in a regulated field like pharma?
And this is huge. Regulatory bodies, think the FDA, the EMA, they look at the MRM as a direct signal of how committed leadership is to quality. It's basically a window for them to see if the people at the very top are genuinely paying attention or if quality is just something they've handed off to someone else.
And here's what it's all about. It's not just about looking back. It's about being strategic. You're there to review how effective the entire system is, to analyze data for trends, not just one-off issues, and to pinpoint those annoying problems that keep popping up. And the big one? This is where leadership decides where to put the resources, the money, the people, to actually make continuous improvement happen.
So to make this meeting actually work, what do you talk about? What needs to be on the agenda to make sure it's a productive use of everyone's time?
Look, a good MRM runs on data. Simple as that. We're talking about looking at deviation trends to spot patterns, like why does one specific production line seem to have issues over and over? That's a trend. You also have to talk about your corrective and preventive actions, or CAPAs, and not just if they're open or closed, but if they're actually working. And of course, you bring in internal audit findings and the hard data on your processes and products.
And it doesn't stop there. You've got to zoom out and look at the bigger picture too. That means a complete overview of any customer complaints or recalls, a summary of recent change controls, which, is a massive deal in pharma, and a check-in on the overall status of employee training. All these things together give you that full health report.
Now, this is maybe the most important part of the whole thing. Because, let's be honest, a meeting with a ton of great discussion but zero concrete outcomes, that's just a waste of time. A successful MRM has to end with a clear plan.
And it really boils down to these four simple, non-negotiable steps. For every issue you talk about, you have to make a clear decision. That decision then gets turned into a real action plan. Every single action gets assigned to a specific person. No, the team will do it. And finally, you give it a firm deadline. That's how you turn talk into real results. All right, now for the fun part, what not to do. Let's talk about the common traps that can get you into some serious hot water, especially when an auditor comes knocking. Oh man, this is a classic. It's a huge red flag for auditors. You've got the meeting minutes, you got the signatures, but a real challenging, in-depth discussion never actually took place. It was all just a paper exercise, and that completely misses the entire point. Here's another big one. You show a bunch of graphs and charts, but nobody really digs in. Just showing the data isn't enough. The whole point is to ask why. What's the story behind these numbers? If you don't have that conversation, you're never getting to the root of your problems.
This just makes the entire meeting pointless. You can have the world's best action plan, but if no one is checking to make sure those actions actually got done, and done right and on time, then what was the point? It completely breaks the improvement cycle. And this is the cardinal sin of a bad MRM.
If the senior leaders aren't there, asking the tough questions, challenging what they're hearing, and driving decisions, the whole thing just becomes a hollow process. Their engagement is literally the engine that makes the whole system work.
So, when you put all this together, when you avoid those traps, and you get the MRM right, you're doing so much more than just having a good meeting. You're actually building something much, much bigger. And this is the final piece of that puzzle, the documentation. The meeting minutes aren't just notes. They are the official, legal record. They have to be detailed, capturing the heart of the discussions, every decision that was made, and every commitment. This document is the hard evidence that your quality system is alive and well.
I really want to leave you with this quote from our source material because it says it all. Just let it sink in. Without a proper management review, your quality system is over here doing its thing, and your management is over there doing its thing, and they are not connected. The MRM is the bridge.
So, that leaves us with one final thought. The health and effectiveness of your MRM is a direct reflection of your company's real commitment to quality. So you have to ask yourself, how strong is your compliance culture? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.